was whistling. Welcome to the Mad Scientist Tea Party. I got to go do the switch.
Whiskey-headed man. Yes, he stayed drunk all the time. Well, he's a whiskey-headed man. Yes, he stayed drunk all the time. Well, if he don't stop drinking, I believe he gonna lose his mind.
Yeah. You got music?
Well, every
You
time
hear my
I
voice?
see that man, he's in some whiskey joint. He's
Can you hear?
slipping
Yeah.
around the corner, trying to get another half a pint. Well, he's a whiskey-headed man. Yes, he stay drunk all the time.
All the time. Stay drunk all the time, it says.
Well, if he don't stop drinking, I believe he gonna lose his mind. Well, every time I see that man, he's walking up and down the street.
Welcome to Mad Scientist Tea Party.
Laughing, driving, and talking
That's right.
with everyone he meets. Well, he's a whiskey-headed man. Yes, he stay drunk all the time. Well, if he don't stop drinking, I believe he gonna lose his mind. Yeah, he's a whiskey-headed man. Yes, he stay drunk all the time. Well, he's a whiskey-headed man. Yes, he stay drunk all the time. Well, if he don't stop drinking, I believe he gonna lose his mind. Well, every time I see that man, he's in some whiskey joint. He's trying to make a bet, trying to get another half a pint. Well, he's a whiskey-headed man. Yes, he stay drunk all the time. Well, if he don't stop drinking, I believe he gonna lose his mind.
Woo! Welcome to the Tea Party. Hi there. How you doing?
Okay, doing good.
All right. Now I know you've come in to tell us about something
Yeah.
that's going on today, and you told me last night it has to do with the Constitution,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of interesting. I was really excited to hear. And I tell you what, if you lean up with your elbow kind of on the table, because that over there is your microphone. So if you
Okay.
kind of just lean up on the table, your microphone will pick you up really good. Let me see. Go ahead and talk to
All
me.
right.
See.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at UNCA, the first draft of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, that was submitted to the states for ratification is on display, and it's a pretty important document.
The first draft.
Mm-hmm.
This,
It has 12 amendments. 10 of them were eventually enacted. It starts from number 2 or actually number 3 is the first one now. The first 2 weren't enacted at that time. The second one was enacted later, and it's I think the 27th now. It's on display. It's a little hard to read. It was.
Yeah, tell me the story about it. You said it was stolen or something.
Yeah, it was stolen during the Civil War from the Capitol, and it wasn't recovered for 140 years. And it was by a sting operation that it was retrieved. It was offered to be sold back to the state several times, which, I don't know, seemed like it would be kind of not a good character, I would suppose, that would take an important document like that and then try to sell it back.
Yeah.
But,
well, you said it was during the Civil War. Was it? I was thinking maybe it was stolen by someone in the South, but you do.
no, it was. I think it eventually ended up in Pennsylvania.
Just by a despicable person who just
Yeah,
got access to it somehow.
Despicable Yankees.
Despicable Yankees. Some despicable Yankees did it. See, go ahead.
Yeah, and I eventually got it back, and it's on display it's been going around the state. There's only one more place it's going to. But if you want to see it without going to Raleigh, UNCH would be the place to go.
Now you say it's the original copy.
Yeah,
the original.
there's only 14 copies, and one DC kept, and the rest went to the states, 13 states. And this is one of them. This is North Carolina's copy of it.
This is North Carolina's copy.
Mm-hmm.
So we own this copy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, so where will it be kept?
It's in Raleigh in the archives, I believe, or will be in the archives.
Oh, so there was one made for all the original states got a copy, and
Sent out to be ratified.
I reckon that's it. So this was it. So this was the copy that we ratified. This
Yeah.
was our first look at it. And so we could look at it and say, yeah, all right. Are there some big red X's on it? Like, not this part. We don't.
It's pretty faded, actually. Apparently, it was on display in somebody's house for a long time, and it's pretty faded. But, it's legible. You can read it. They have copies of everything it says on a separate paper there that they'll give you coming in. But, I thought it was
that would be good, and they give you a page. That'd be worth having right there, just a copy of it. And do they give that to you? Does it cost any money to see this?
No, it's right there in the library.
And they give you a copy of it when you go in, and it's there from what time to what time?
Well, it's available to see right now, and it'll be tomorrow. I think 10 or 8 to 10 or 8. I may be wrong on the hours. 8 to somewhere around noon. They take a break. Now, I'm not sure what the hours are, but from 8 o'clock till 4 o'clock would time out in the middle for a break.
And you and some guys are going to be down there. Is that's today, isn't it?
Yeah, today. The Freedom and Liberty Festival is at 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock tonight, and
from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So if you're watching the Tea Party, you got a little less than an hour to get there on time or early, and you can get there on up till 7 o'clock.
And it's on the quad, and they're going to have period costumes and period music.
And what time will how late does it stay open to see the Constitution tonight?
I believe it's only 7, but I'm not sure.
So if I can shut down my Tea Party fast enough at 6 and scurry down there, I might could see it today.
So. And pretty much all day tomorrow it'll be open.
Well, see, I've got Mount Dungeon and a bunch of stuff tomorrow too. So it's a matter of when can I do it. I want to see that. That's
it's pretty interesting, and it kind of gives the history of what happened to it and how they got it back.
So have you already been by and seen it and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it being well received? Do we have many people showing up?
Last night, I don't know, maybe been 100 people or so while
That's
I was
not
there.
bad.
It was pretty good, yeah. Just kind of had busy times and slack times, but it was fairly constantly attended.
Now, what's the name of the group of you that's going to be out there from, let me see if I'm saying this right, from 5 until 7?
Yeah, the Ron Paul Meetup Group.
The Ron Paul Meetup Group.
Yeah, it's Ron Paul Meetup number 467, Asheville, North Carolina. Going to be there. You may have seen us on the bridge with a banner.
Yeah. Oh, was that you? What day was that?
It wasn't me. This last week, I kind of got there earlier before they got there and didn't know if they were showing up or not. And I went home. They got there after I left, so I didn't.
That was at rush hour, and they were it was slowing traffic down.
Traffic's pretty slow there anyway.
Well,
at
it was
that time of day.
slow. It was slowed down because it speeded up after everybody got under the bridge. I was surprised that people were slowing down. I don't slow down much for those kind of things. You know, I can look up there and see what it is and keep on going.
Yeah.
But they were dancing around up there and what have you.
Yeah,
And so,
I was on the Montford Bridge.
and so right.
Okay.
So of course I blew my horn about 10 times running through, and then later when I came back the other way, I blew my horn a bunch of times so that they could see my big Ron Paul sign up in the back of my truck. You know, because I thought they'd get a kick out of it. You know?
I got one on the back of my truck too.
I hope they saw that. I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that one. That was part of the meetup group, but I wasn't there for that. And then
Now,
there
I'm
was
not
another
saying
group
go out and vote for
Wednesday.
Ron Paul or anything like that. I just think that everybody should be aware of Ron Paul, and you can decide who to vote for on your own. But I think everybody should be aware of Ron Paul. So I carry a. He's my pick in the Republican primary, and
He's a champion of the Constitution, and that's why we thought it'd be a good opportunity to
see what the Constitution said.
Yeah.
That's
already knew.
That's the most amazing thing, really. If you'll sit down with a friend of mine has a pocket Constitution, you know, which is I highly recommend now. Say I'm not supposed to tell people to do things, but I recommend that you invest in a pocket Constitution. I don't know. I reckon people give them away. I reckon you can buy them. They probably cost $1 or $2 for a pocket Constitution. But that is one of the best things to have. Just when you because sometimes you're thinking about it and stuff like that, and look it up and see what it says. You know, and it's actually very revealing.
Yeah.
To just read what it says.
Got several of them in my truck.
Do you?
I like the Citizens Rule Book that covers jury nullification and all. You know what that is. Where when you're a jury, you not only judge the crime that you're supposed to be judging, but you judge the law as well.
That's right.
And you can overturn
That's right.
the even though the judge
will
won't tell you
this.
this.
Judge will tell you you can't.
He'll tell you
you
have to follow his instructions, but that's not the case.
That's why they have a jury. That's why they have human beings sitting on the jury, because they want somebody with a brain to make a decision. So if things are wrong, somebody can stand up and say, no, that's wrong. And that's what it's all about, exactly.
Yeah, and apparently that's how the 18th Amendment, what was it that came into existence, the repealing prohibition because the juries weren't convicting people of possessing alcohol illegally.
Too many people were saying, well, heck, we all have a bottle somewhere in the house, and they wouldn't charge anybody with it. And the bootleggers were considered a community asset. Well, how are you going to get a bottle of liquor if you don't have a bootlegger down the street somewhere? And so finally they just quit putting those people in jail, like we ought to stop putting people in jail for marijuana.
Yeah, definitely.
And if it was between alcohol and marijuana, if they wanted to put somebody in jail, it needs to be the alcohol people, not the marijuana people. They're the least of our problems. I just don't know anybody with marijuana that causes any problems. Do you?
No, not that I'm aware of. I don't know. I don't fool with it much.
Do you ever hear? Well, so and so smoked marijuana and beat his wife, or smoking marijuana and went out and robbed the grocery store. You don't hear that. No, sorry, no. They smoked too much marijuana and sat on the couch and ate potato chips. That's what happens.
Yeah. Smoked too much marijuana and drove 35 miles an hour on the interstate on the way home.
Yeah, he was driving too slow instead of too fast, right? Looking at the scenery, and his mind was wandering, But it doesn't make people mean and stuff, and we all know, and I don't know if this is the time to bring this up. I mean, I'm just assuming. Also, I was thinking, did you want to show people your T-shirt? What you could do is you could go stand in front of that.
All right.
That here.
Which one am I on?
Right now we're on that one over there. You can go stand in front of that one. You'll see. You can see when you get it framed up. Right there it is. You want to get real close? Can they see the strings on those? The puppet strings and stuff. All right, you want to show them the back? The back is good too. Yeah. Let's see. And you made that T-shirt up yourself, I hear.
Yeah.
How did you print it?
Through my printer from my computer. Just prints it. It's just a transfer.
And you can buy like a transfer, run it through, print it, and then like iron it on.
Yeah.
And so anybody can make them up.
Yeah, the ironing part was the hardest part because they only give you a piece of paper that's the same size as this, and and once you put it on there, it starts curling up, and if you get an iron on there, it stretches it and ruins it. So I kind of put the two pieces of paper sideways on it, and did one side.
Well, heck, it worked, didn't it?
Middle. Yeah, it had a little problem on the edge, but it wasn't
not bad. I did. Is it permanent? I mean, as far as can you wash it?
Yeah,
and stuff? The water.
You just gotta be careful in the dryer. If you over dry it, it kind of screws it up.
Okay, it's color fast though. It won't run if it gets water on it or anything.
Yeah, it's better to just to hand dry it.
Do you have to have a special printer to do that, or will just most any printer will do it?
Seemed to work just fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Because the colors and all, it's really nice looking. I mean,
yeah.
It doesn't look like a homemade job at all. Everybody tells you it's good, don't they?
Yeah. I went down. Ron Paul was in Spartanburg and Greenville last week, and I went down there, and he liked it. He got a chuckle out of it. Yeah, I got him to sign a silver certificate for me. He's a fan of real money rather than Federal Reserve fiat money, and so I brought a uncirculated 1957B issue silver certificate dollar down there, and he signed it for me. It's uncirculated, never been folded, 50 years old.
Do you have a lot of those kind of things?
I have a few of them, yeah. I got a gold certificate, and I got some old Federal Reserve notes. The ones that really tell the story, the ones that say that they're exchangeable in lawful money. Well, if a Federal Reserve note isn't lawful money, then that ought to tell you something.
That is.
But it doesn't say that on the newer bills, because apparently we don't have any lawful money anymore. They don't have silver or gold.
That is real interesting. Lawful money, you say?
Mm-hmm.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
So they will exchange it for law. They'll exchange it
for lawful money.
This is a gold certificate.
Well, gold and even the first Federal Reserve note said that on them.
First Federal Reserve.
In 1914, the first issue of Federal Reserve note, gold and silver were still legal tender. They were still, you could use it to pay your debts and taxes and all.
I assume you have a decent scanner at home. Am I right?
Yeah.
All right. I wish you would do this. I wish you would scan those notes for me. You don't have to bring the notes and let me see them or anything.
Okay.
But to scan them, and nowadays if you scan, because I've scanned some old bills, and you can blow them up really big, and they still stay nice. And if they're nice crisp bills, they stay nice and good looking. And if they've done by a good scanner, scan those things and let's blow them up kind of bit like maybe. What are they? 11.5 by 20-inch paper. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't have any papers that big. I've got them already.
Well, just some legal size.
Blown up where there's two sideways on 8.5 by 11.
That's not bad.
We actually did that for a show.
A front and a back.
Well, just the front. Yeah.
Well, make a front and a back. I think we ought to do that on one, and blow me some up. Because I'd like to see those and like to have them to show to people.
Yeah. Okay.
And that'd be good.
All right. Yeah.
Especially where it says exchangeable for legal
lawful money.
Lawful money.
Yeah.
I'll have to.
And both the silver and gold certificates say that they're demand notes. They're exchangeable for the face value of amount of gold or silver on demand.
Yeah, but I understand that might not be true anymore.
No, it's definitely not true anymore. Gold was taken out of circulation in 1933 by Roosevelt. He declared a $10,000 fine or 10 years in prison if you didn't turn it in.
Now, what was Roosevelt's motivation in that? I mean,
because people were going to the banks and demanding their gold, and they had more notes in circulation than they had gold.
So
they had to declare a bank holiday in March 9th, 1933.
And Roosevelt was heavily invested in banking, wasn't he?
He was associated with the Wall Street crowd, I would say. He was former governor of New York, I believe. And he wasn't far from it.
Well, here, you keep talking about some stuff while I make some tea.
Okay.
Can you hold down the conversation?
Yeah, I guess so.
By yourself. Talk to yourself. Ask yourself questions.
All right.
Or make one of these guys come in.
Roosevelt, he declared an emergency banking act. It was a bank holiday. He closed the banks for, I believe, 3 days. And anybody that when they finally reopened, if you weren't a Federal Reserve Bank, you just didn't exist anymore. You had to. But before that, there was such a thing as a national currency. It was a note issued by a bank, backed by an asset that that they had, whether it was stocks or whatever, and they issued these notes themselves, and they were circulated, and they had some problems with bank runs where rumors would get around that they don't have valuable assets, and that would lead to the closing of some banks sometimes.
Right.
And there was quite a few panics, and this is what the Federal Reserve was supposedly gonna stop.
Hey there. Are you gonna come in?
Keep going. I'm listening.
Are
But
you gonna come in?
Yeah.
Come on in.
but right now the dollar is at a record low. The gold and silver, gold is just a few dollars. It closed at I think it was 832 yesterday. The highest it's ever been is 850, and so it's close to the highest it's ever been. Which doesn't mean the gold's any higher. It means the dollar's worth less. And silver's the same thing. Silver's right around $15 or so. I'm not sure what today's quote is, but at the start of George Bush's administration, it was like $4.50 an ounce, and so it's more than tripled. And gold the same way. It was like $2.75 at its lowest point, and it's 8 something now.
Let me ask you a question. Would you care for any sassafras in your tea? In your tea?
Sure.
Okay. We'll have some.
Experience?
Oh, you've not ever had any sassafras?
I don't think so.
Oh, where are you from?
I'm from Connecticut originally. I'm one of them damn Yankees.
And he doesn't sound like a damn Yankee, does he? But I'm thinking they must not have sassafras up there, huh?
Yeah, they do. It grows wild in the north.
Yeah.
They must not. They must not do any. They must not drink it. They must not know that you make tea out of it.
Well, it's also good for colds too.
I tried to give some to Randini yesterday. He wasn't too crazy about the idea.
Really? Oh, that smells
He-
good.
He let him
Yeah,
ground
can you
up in his
smell
tea.
Give it a sniff.
Did you guess what the
Wow.
tea was?
I assumed it was oolong. Is it?
Ooh, you're good.
Am I?
Yeah, you're good. Oolong tea?
I've been drinking some tea, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Is it any special oolong or is this
No,
oolong?
just oolong.
Oolong.
Yeah.
That's what I made it to be. Was just oolong.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, I got it.
Uh-huh.
Brought it in from Hallelujah.
You know what I can't find? I have been looking for that Mad Hatter tea, which I don't know what I've done with it. I can't find
Really?
it. It's probably made its way to the bottom of that big box over there or something,
Uh-huh.
and it'll surface, I reckon.
Well,
but
I'll bring some more the next time.
but I don't know what it did with it. Sometimes it all gets away from me. You know,
Yeah, we forgive you.
I'm sitting here talking and forgetting to make my tea.
Well, you can't do that. I
Yeah.
come here for the tea. I'm Lisa.
Jim,
Nice to meet you.
nice meeting you.
Okay, well this one I've put ginseng in here
Uh-huh.
and sassafras, as you see,
Uh-huh.
and some of your oolong.
So that was a little piece of ginseng in there. That was a little root of ginseng.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
ground it up.
Oh, okay, it was the ground up. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the?
Oh, the chunk.
Bigger, yeah.
The chunk is a tea that they press it into. They use that's just like a sample piece. They press it into
Oh.
big loaves that
Uh-huh.
they're big like this, and they have a pattern in them.
Right.
You know, from the press, and the tea keeps that way, and they seal those
Right.
off. And old ones like I'm told by the people who bring the tea in that an old cake of tea like that,
Right.
if it's like 100 years old,
Uh-huh.
that it's worth like $1 million
Wow.
and stuff like that. But this is samples from like last year's. You know,
Right.
this is not
Right.
this is maybe 1 or 2 years old.
So
not
the
a-
tea that's aged to perfection is worth
those
its weight in gold.
some tea is, yeah. Oh, the world of tea is a whole.
Yeah.
It's a whole
Yeah.
thing. Every kind of tea has like 30 different grades and all that. And,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah. And if it's organic or if it's made with pesticides. And,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I get I get the tea from China, and we don't really have as much. I don't get as much information, you know.
Well, there's a lot that are very organic from over there.
I should
I mean,
I should
we get a
expect
lot
them-
at the store.
I should expect them to be more so from China because just simply because they're not as industrialized and
Where
just
it comes from.
right, and would just save on the chemicals and grow tea the same way they've done it for thousands and thousands
Right.
of years. I should
Right.
hope,
Don't even have to trade opium for it anymore.
Yeah.
but you could.
Yeah, I like your shirt.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
He did a good
that's
job,
really...
didn't he? Didn't he make
Oh,
a
you
good-
made
He
it?
made
Yeah.
that shirt, yeah, and show her the back of it
Yeah.
too.
No strings attached.
See?
Break your conditioning, Ron Paul.
Uh-huh.
08.
Now,
Oh
did-
wow, that's really
Now,
cool.
didn't he make a nice shirt?
I like that.
And he went down to
That
South
is-
Carolina and saw Ron Paul and showed him the shirt.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, he liked it.
Yeah. I've been seeing a lot about him, but it's not in your mainstream media. I've been hearing and seeing a lot about him on MySpace,
Oh yeah.
Right.
on the
Oh, yeah.
internet. It's like,
Every day on there, yeah.
you know, but it's like, why don't we hear about? Why are only the major two political candidates or political, what do you call it, offices or whatever?
Parties.
Parties,
Yeah.
thank you. Why
All
do
you
we
hear
only
about is
hear about them?
Barack Obama, and I
He's-
like Barack Obama.
He's not a globalist.
Right,
That's
right.
why you don't hear about him. He's a
Well, you hear
constitutionalist.
The people who own the TV stations,
Oh, yeah.
the TV networks, are not big supporters
Right.
of Ron Paul, and
Right.
so they're not going to encourage their news departments to report on his daily progress the way they
Right.
will on the others.
He got a lot of publicity this week because he raised on Guy
$3.5
Fawkes Day.
million?
Yeah, $3.2 million in one day, 24 hours.
Really? Where was that at?
Yeah, it was just through the internet. People,
Wow.
people.
People hearing about them.
Well, this one website wanted to raise on Guy Fawkes Day. This is the guy that was caught trying to blow up the Parliament to kill the king in England, and on the anniversary of his days, mostly based on the V for Vendetta movie that they started this thing. Is they wanted to have a money bomb go to Ron Paul on that day, and everybody donate and see how much he can money.
Right.
And
donate.
it was $3.5 million. I think is that right?
Yeah, it's $3.2 million.
Oh, three.
Wow.
Over $3 million.
That was
in,
way
in
cool.
24
Yeah.
hours. Yeah, and it was. I think the average donation was $103 or something like that. So it
Really?
was.
So was that many
Definitely
people
came
that
from
happened?
definitely came
Yeah.
from the people, not
Yeah.
from corporations.
Right.
and-
Yeah,
things like that.
it
Uh-huh.
kind of meant to disprove the notion that this media's been promoting that it's a small bunch of people that are skewing these debates by texting over and over, which is impossible to do in almost all these polls they've had. But they especially Fox News has been trying to promote the idea that it's a small group of people that are skewing these polls, and this is to demonstrate otherwise.
Right.
And
Right.
he's this really wasn't anything to do with the campaign. It was entirely outside of the campaign. Just the people that thought it was the thing to do donated.
Yeah. That's cool. I really don't know a whole lot about them, but I know that there's a lot of people who back them.
Mhm.
A lot of the, like on MySpace, I have a MySpace,
Yeah.
the Glow Lady, and there's a
Oh,
lot
right,
of
okay.
people, yeah, the Glow Lady, THEGLO
All
yeah.
right.
Go on, put yourself as my friend. I have Glow Lady TV. That's for my TV show.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But there's a lot of people who have very good information. So I look up to, receiving information from them because yes, I do believe that they are telling me the truth. They
Yeah.
aren't, they aren't the lies and deceptions that a lot of the, people are. Hey,
Yeah.
Hello, people.
Yay! So yeah, I think that he's going to change the election this year.
Oh,
or
definitely.
next year.
Yeah. I hope
yeah.
he gets the nomination, and it's looking like he
Who's
will.
this?
It's certainly.
Ron Paul.
Ron Paul.
Did you see his shirt? Look at his shirt. Isn't that neat? Globalist control your candidate. No strings attached, and then on the back, he
Yeah.
made it. He made his
Nice.
T-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, we're having a good show today. This is good. It's a
Yeah.
good show.
Yeah.
Glad to see you. I heard you say at the shop Do you have a shop or do you work in
No,
a shop?
I work in a health food store
Okay.
out in Brevard. Hallelujah.